I know I need to size up with you, and when I defang the Viper, trust me, ain't gonna come from nowhere. Jeff, I already put you out. I don't even know why you're out here right now. Keep on talking. Hey, do me a favor. Why don't you act like this is an AA meeting and you shut your mouth while I'm sharing with the group? And Mustafa, you out here, a boy among men. And I'm gonna tell you what, you got lucky at the Rumble, so I know you're gonna come out here and run your mouth about how bad you are. But let me give you a little bit of a reality check. You see, Mustafa, you said that my eyes don't lie. Well, your eyes don't lie either, because last week, they were closed real tight when I put your simple ass to sleep. And AJ, hey man, be honest with me. How's our old girl Wendy doing?
So let me ask you guys a question, right? So when it comes to, all this, we're celebrating, we're all happy. We got Bobby Lashley, we got the Hurt Business as tag team champions, we got, Sasha Banks as women's champion. Now, tell me, do you think it's that WWE is just finally starting to realize that, hey, these guys are talented and, these guys can carry the company? Or do you think it's with all the social injustice things that are going on that they're just deciding, let's just start handing out titles to all the black talent?
Bro, you know what? Let's talk about that. That's a good point, because it's not like that didn't cross my mind. The whole, black is in. I can see their marketing team doing some type of shit like that. Because, bro, I come from corporate, so I know the mentality like that. Like, it's all a numbers game to them. It makes me remind of the boys, that, what's her name? Always cracking those numbers to Homelander. Like, you're 18 to 50 demographic and all of that. It's like, I'm pretty sure they got one of those people, talking to Vince about that, about the African-American demographic and whatnot. Like, I can't not, that hasn't like crossed my mind at all.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it did. You even look at the things that they're doing too as well. It's like there's been a whole influx of a lot of hip hop coming into the WWE as well. So it's like we got a lot of black champions. Yep. You got hip hop artists coming into there. It's like, who are they targeting right now? You know what I mean? It's just something I think about.
No, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. Here's what I'll say to it is that, I feel like it's not an accident that it's happening right now. I do feel like they're being influenced by what's going on right now in the world. And honestly, for me, I'll take it. I just hope that they continue along this. This is a good change. So for me, I'll go ahead and take it. But I just hope that they don't like go the wrong way with it. And I don't know. I just feel like I just want to enjoy this and be happy for the fact that that it's happening. I mean, I talked about it earlier when we first started talking. Like, we've only had 3 black WWE champions, and it's bittersweet because I want to be happy for Bobby. I want to just enjoy the moment. At the same time, I've been seeing people posting the image on Instagram of those 3 champions, and I say, like, really, of all the great black wrestlers that we've had, that's it? 3 in all this time with WWE? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. The math doesn't add up for why it is the way it is. But hey, they're listening, they're paying attention to what's going on in the world, and I think it's something that let's just go ahead and ride with this and hope that this continues on, for good for the future. I mean, right now we got Big E is champion going against Apollo. You got Sasha Banks as champion going against Bianca Belair. Now we got Bobby Lashley as WWE champion. The intro for Raw is like a hip hop beat. And you got all these different wrestlers. Like, actually, they got some bounce in their music. Like, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they're trying to talk to us. And hey, I'll take it. Right now. But let's see. Hopefully, it doesn't. If it starts to get distasteful in a way, like they start to do something that I feel like, like what the fuck is this? Like I'm gonna say something. Like I'm gonna call that shit out. Like if it feels like it's BS a little bit. But right now, it's there's positive going on with it. It's like it feels good. it feels positive, so I'm gonna ride with it. Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this:
man.
like you was talking about, last 60 years only been 3 black champions. So I posted that from. I didn't post that, but I posted that graphic of you got The Rock, you got Bobby, you got Kofi. I think shout out to Backstage Brawl. It was from their Facebook page. Shared it to our group page, and then I believe Dominic made a comment. You know what I'm saying? We got in a debate, but he made a comment talking about like he was talking about Hafiz's last 60 years. You know, that was only been 3 black champions. Then at the end of it, you know, kind of rubbed me the wrong way. He said WWE do better. I'm like, do better, but last 3-4 years they've been giving us the representation, you know, that's needed right now. You know, like to your point, you know, we got Big E, we had the New Day, we got Street Profits, you know, Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, you know, like it's there the last 3-4 years, even the last 2 years we had 2 black champions. Now we can say that. You know what I'm saying? And when he said that, I was like, all right, because it's actually one promotion I'm not even seeing the representation. All right, and I'm going to talk about it. And I put it out there. I was like, I put out AEW. And I didn't even expect the clapback. I thought maybe he'll say, yeah, you're right, they got work to do. You know what I'm saying? But no. He was like, you know, he clapped back. We went back and forth. If you want to see the details, I say this. Go on our group chat. You will see it right there. It's on the Top of Wrestling Talk. Me and my brother, we go back and forth. It's just a bro. It's like I treat him as my brother. That's Dom. He knows this. We got like a rivalry, but it's a respect level to this, though. You know what I'm saying? So don't come with that nasty smoke. But you see it right there. You decide. But let me ask y'all this, though. All right. The representation for AEW. Do you see it? Do you not see it? Is it too soon to call it?
That's tough. You know, as you started with this, I was trying to think of the black wrestlers that are even in AEW right now.
Scorpio Sky.
The only one is Scorpio Sky that comes to my mind.
Scorpio Sky, Miss Cargill, who just joined Red Velvet.
Big Swole.
I guess you would consider Shaq part of the roster.
At that point.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think they're kind of like in the point where they're just still starting out. They're still relatively, you know, a new company. I don't, at least at this moment, I don't have any, you know, ill feelings to think like, oh, that they're not trying to do this, because they're a very progressive company when it comes to, you know, LGBT community as well. So, and I know Cody has spoken out plenty of times when it comes to issues with Black Lives Matter, as well as a lot of guys over there. So I don't think it's really an issue. I just think it's really an issue of them just bringing in the talent. Once they get that talent in there, I think you'll see a lot of it. Right now, when it comes to, you know, like Scorpio Sky, he's an amazing in-ring talent, and I could see him as a future champion one day. But when you're first starting out as a company and you're trying to get people to know who you are, you have to give it to guys, Chris Jericho, John Moxley, that the average person who doesn't know this company is going to say, oh, I should tune into them guys. They got old WWE guys, legit WWE guys. Chris Jericho. I know Chris Jericho. So I think, you know, eventually guys like Scorpio Sky, you'll see them. They'll start getting titles. But, you know, they have to become more of a household name to the average wrestling fan. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think, you know, Scorpio Sky was legit injured for a while, too, so he had been off television. Mm-hmm. And before I knew that, I was a little upset that we hadn't seen him. I was like, where is he? Like, it just didn't make sense. Yeah. It seemed like he was on the verge of maybe getting pushed, you know, as a future star, and then he was just off television. But he's hurt, or he was hurt. He's going to be at Revolution here on Saturday. Is it Saturday or Sunday, Revolution, by the way? Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Usually Saturday,
always
right?
Does Saturdays.
Right. So you know, he'll be back. You know, so it'll be nice to see.
Oh, it's actually Sunday, March 7th, right?
They have it on Sunday. Yeah, because I feel like they usually have it on Saturdays, but it's actually Sunday. Okay. Yeah. All right, there we go. So you know, but with in general with the representation, I mean, I feel like we've talked ad nauseum about the women's division. Like, I feel like that's where I get more heated and more upset about how they just don't show enough of the female superstars there. You know, when it comes to the black superstars over there, I feel like, you know, even us trying to come up with the names, like they don't just like let's just hit right away. Like Private Party, you know, as a tag team, I feel like, you know, is one that kind of sticks out too. But I think that's one where I'll give them a little bit more time to build the roster and just establish more of them as stars. But, you know, with Scorpio Sky, now that he's getting back in there, I do want to see him more because it makes sense that he would be on television more. Jade, after being there with Shaq, if you don't put her on television at the next Dynamite, what were you doing all this time? You know, what was this whole storyline about? Like, this needed to be about making her a new star in that women's division and now just build off that momentum and carry it over. And she won, and that's cool. But now, like, let's continue on with that. You can't just have her do that and then we don't see her for a month. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. You know, same with Red Velvet. You know, like she was on there too. So, you know, and she's ranked third or second in the women's division.
Yeah,
but she's wasn't in the tournament, so that was weird. So, you know, if you're gonna rank her like that, Dark is cool, but Dynamite is really the money. You know, so I do want to see better representation, but I think that with that one, I'll give them a little bit more time. The women's division, though, is where I'm like, you have the roster, they have the talent. It's just a matter of just booking them at this point. You know, booking Britt Baker, booking Hikaru Shida, your champion, more, booking Serena Deeb, you know, booking Thunder Rosa, booking Nyla Rose. You know, like it just big swole. You know, there's so many women there. I just feel like and they're all talented. At first, it was like, okay, you know, there's some botching here and there, and all right, fine. But then, you know, like women like Britt Baker just put so much work in, and I'm like, all right, you know, now that she's improved so much and she's such a great heel character, she's great on the mic. Why is she not on television more? You know, why is she not in this championship situation more, either for NWA Championship or AEW Women's Championship? So I think that more, I can't give them a pass for that one. But when it comes to representation of the black superstars they have, I feel like they need to build those superstars a little bit more. And I feel like maybe just, I don't know. That one, to your point, Derek, I don't feel as heated about that. Give it time, you know, and maybe we'll see it more. But if we start to see, like, again, I think Scorpio Sky is kind of the one that I'm watching because he's in this tournament and he's healthy. If he's not there on Dynamite this Wednesday after the tournament, what do we, you know, like it's gonna feel a little bit weird. So that's just where I'm at with it.
I think with Scorpio Sky, even before he got hurt, he had a fair shake. You know, he was the first AEW Tag Team Champion. You know, he had that rub, and then he split off. And he split off from them, so they can put a focus on his single star. Like they even did a background. They call him the King of AEW Dark. So when he had that all going up, he had a huge upside going against Cody. I felt like they had a huge opportunity to use Cody because Cody was hot. He's the face of AEW. And if you're talking about you're the revolution, you're the change, let's see that then. Let's see you actually use your star power and make not just like, oh, he had a good match, you know, but he still lost. No, man, pull the trigger, make him a star. That's what you do, and then you actually showing me that, all right, you actually are that change. You're actually that revolution, you know. So that's how I see it. And then, you know, I hear what you guys talking about, like give him time, and I look at that to a certain degree because I gotta look at experience too. You know, the from their production crew, from their wrestlers. It's not like they're rookies. These are coming from other companies, you know, from even WWE, so or Ring of Honor, just their experience working the hard camera as well. So I can't not knock that, you know, toss it to the side. I gotta treat that as substance. Like, man, you got experienced people that know what they're doing part of the business. Why are we not seeing the changes that you came out? You had this big parade. You guys labeled yourself as the change. You guys labeled yourself as the revolution. Like, I get for WWE, they came out as saying they're the top, they're the head of the table, they're the chiefs. I get that. That's why they get the rub for their rub they're getting for 60 years, 3 black champs. Cool, I get that. Other side of the table too, with AEW as well. Like, all right, in the time and age we're in right now, all right, why are we not seeing the representation? That's why I had to bring it up.
Well, I mean, also, I think Derrick brought up a great point about when you have a new company like this and you're on TNT, you're trying to reach casual fans, you're going to hit them with names. Unfortunately, as much as I see the talent that, a lot of the black stars have there in AEW, they're not names like that. They're not names like a Jericho, like a Moxley, like a Cody, so I can understand why you won't necessarily want to say make Scorpio Sky AEW world champion right away. Maybe TNT champion, because Darby is kind of in the same TNT, boat as a Scorpio Sky, but then Scorpio is kind of a tough one because of the injury too, so that's tough. And then when I look at the rest of them that I see, like Private Party is one I brought up, like I think that we're getting there with Private Party, with him being with them being with Matt. And they're being on television now almost every week. So I think we are seeing the representation for them, and I think that they're getting there, when it comes to it. But I think part of it is like, how do you establish AEW with casual fans? And for that, I think you hit them with those name wrestlers. Like, let's say Big E was to jump ship and go to AEW. You better believe Big E is going to be there every week, because with that audience that knows Big E from WWE, it would be stupid not to have him there every week on Dynamite. It would just make sense. Like Miro, even though Miro is he's been there pretty much every week. He's not getting the push we thought he would, but I feel like it's coming. Starting on Sunday. But a big name, someone that has that fan base, that can draw viewers. I feel like they don't have those big names right now in AEW when it comes to the Black Stars. Like I appreciate them. I see what they're doing, and I'm rooting for them. And I think that they're building, but they're not on that level of a Kenny Omega even, like Kenny is one of the big stars overall. Now, you could argue to casual fans, some of them don't know who Kenny is, but, internationally, he has that following, right? So, that makes sense. Moxley coming from WWE, Jericho. I mean, God, Jericho goes without saying. Even a guy like Sting, Hall of Famer, everybody knows him, and they paired him with Darby to kind of help establish him. So I think that it's tough. That's a tough one. But I don't totally knock what you're saying too. Like, maybe there's a way in which, like, for instance, with this whole thing with Jade, having her in the storyline with Shaq and Cody is a way to build her up, and to make her a name and start to build her as a household name. And again, to what I said earlier, if Jade isn't there on Dynamite next week, what did we do? Like, that's a wasted opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's somebody, you just had her in a huge spotlight, and now you're gonna take it away and have her away for months. Like, if they were to do that, it would be dumb, and I would call that shit out. But overall, definitely. I think that the time part of it is that they need to establish them. And so, to your point, Devin, I think maybe they could be better about using some of the established names that they have and pairing them more with the black talent there in order to build those names. And that would be a good way to do this. So I agree with that. I feel like that's a great point. It's a complicated thing. I wish we all could be like bookers for AEW and make these decisions overall. But I think that it'll be something to watch. Definitely you bringing this up, it makes me want to look at it a little bit deeper and really analyze it a little bit better.
True.
It makes me think about, because I see about in the women's division, Big Swole. She's one of my favorites. This character-wise, she has the talent, but where has she been? She's not even hurt. And I feel like that was a missed opportunity that she could have been in the AEW women's tournament. Like, yeah, just like, shout out to Nevaeh. Like, she called it out. She said Thunder Rosa and Big Swole could have had a banger. I'm like, hell yeah, they could. Even if she lost, that would have been a good rub for Thunder Rosa, because, she's that top. She's one of the best just in women's wrestling. Just to put that spotlight on Big Swole would have been a huge opportunity for her, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think too. Something that kind of hurt them too is like, just imagine opening a new business right now, and then literally like a couple months to a year, like COVID just hits and just halts everything that you're doing. You got to change the way you do production. You got to worry about saving money and cutting costs. And now you can't even bring the talent in that you probably would have brought in if everything was going normal. So I think that was a big factor in it as well. And I think them going on TNT was also, it helped them because it puts a spotlight on them. People know who AEW is, and they see, hey, there's an alternative to WWE. But at the same time, it hurts them because now you got to deliver on those ratings. You got to have names that people know. You got to get people to tune into this show now. So that makes it tough too, because when AEW first started, I was thinking the same thing. This is supposed to be something different. This is supposed to be progression. And we were seeing the Inner Circle out every 20 minutes they were on the show. The Young Bucks, every 20 minutes they were on the show. Kenny Omega, Bullet Club, Reunion, all those guys. Every 20 minutes they were on the show. We're like, now you guys are doing the same thing people left WWE for. You're not even using the talent you got. And then I think that even the thing with Big Swole, I don't even think that's just, it like, dang, they aren't building up or, using the black talent that they have. Hafiz just said it. They don't even know how to manage their women's division, period. So, you know what I mean? No one's getting any good looks in the women's division right now. So I think it's just a lot of them just trying to, get it together and, just figure out their company. And, maybe going to TNT so early wasn't such a great idea. You know what I mean? Maybe they should have built it up and, kind of like a Ring of Honor type thing. And maybe they should have did NWA type thing, started online first, and then boom, transition. We're going to TV type thing to build up. So it's a lot of stuff that kind of factors in there as well. And because there's lots of talent that's out there that they could be signing, but I don't even know if they got the money to even bring all those guys in. But one thing I will say, they're really good with bringing in independent talent, because we see a ton of independent talent on AEW Dark. A lot of guys that I see wrestle around here and that I know on the indies that are making waves. They give a lot of opportunities to those guys. Guys like Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. Those two dudes wrestle out here in Jersey. I literally talked to Anthony probably 2 weeks before he got signed with AEW. I had him on my show. And, this wasn't even something that was expected. And, he went up there. Those two guys delivered. And, the opportunity presented itself. And now look at those guys. They're signed. We see them, basically weekly on AEW. Yep. So I think it'll come along. It'll happen. We got to look at those instances like that. And it'll get to where we want it to be. I got faith in AEW. I have faith in it.
Nice. Also, they're teasing a signing. So who do we think this person is? Do we think it's a troll, or is it going to be somebody big, or I don't know?
Hall of Fame worthy. That's what they said now. That's what Paul White said.
Right. And I don't know. I've seen all sorts of rumors on who it could be. I mean, and he said it's not who you think. And when he said that, I'm like, why would you he's just messing with our heads at this point, man. My mind is going all over the place. I mean, obviously, the person, when he said it's not who you think, that I think he thinks we think it is, and that's a lot to say even, is CM Punk. I feel like that's the name that is always out there, like, oh, he's going to return, oh, he's going to come back. I feel like that's who he meant when he said it's not who you think. But, yeah, I really have no idea who that could be. I mean, Batista's name, I feel like, has been thrown out there as a person that could show up. Juventud Guerrera is a name that's been thrown out there. Someone who could show up, blast from the past. There's so many people, but I guess maybe the question is, who do we want it to be? Like, who would you like to see show up in AEW?
That's tough too, man. Because when he says, Hall of Fame worthy, I kind of look at worthy as this person isn't in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? So you mean they should be or could be. So, I was kind of I don't know. This made me. I actually started looking to see if dudes actually have Legends contracts with WWE. I looked it up because I was thinking, it could be like somebody like Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Then I was like, oh wait, he signed a deal. Then I'm like, shit, it could be somebody like Undertaker. And then I'm like, oh shit, he re-signed the 15-year deal. He signed the WWE forever. So it's it's crazy. I'm hoping it's not some BS. Nobody.
They gotta commit. They gotta commit. That would be a bad look. That would be a bad look.
It's like who? I really don't even know who can it be. Can it be Kane or somebody? You know what I mean? I don't know. The only person I would think would be CM Punk. Batista shot down rumors today. He said that he's not going to AEW. That
Brock
not
still
him.
got merch on WWE because I remember they pulled it.
That who does?
Yeah,
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. I'm trying to see if they still have merch on WWE because I do remember seeing after Drew got the title from Brock that a couple months after that they pulled the merch. So I don't know if he's still in the contract. Usually that's what they do.
Dude,
that would
if
be
they
crazy.
got Brock Lesnar, that would be insane.
I'm about to check. I'm about to check WWE
that's
shop
gonna
right
Vince
now.
would
I'm
let
about to
that
go
happen.
there.
I don't think Vince would let it happen. Vince would just be.
I don't even think they got the money
to pay him, right?
To get Brock Lesnar.
I mean,
I
Tony
don't know,
Khan
man.
knows
Tony
that
Khan
dude's
daddy,
family.
he a billionaire too.
Sold the Jaguars, man. We gonna find out.
I don't know. Yeah, you'd have to pay Brock.
Yeah, Brock about his money, bro.
So that's a tough one, but I think it could be somebody. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be somebody that's at the level of a Bully Ray or something like that.
Coming up for Brock
I don't think
Lesnar.
it's gonna be nobody like a crazy name. I think it's gonna be somebody on that level, and I would be happy to see Bully Ray. I like Bully Ray, so you know what I mean. I don't know. I really don't know.
Nothing's coming up for Brock Lesnar, by the way. I put in Brock in WWE shop. Nothing's coming up. I'm just saying.
They trying to gas you.
No. I'm just saying. This is my own personal guess. This is nothing who gassed me up. This is my theory.
You know why? Because they making room for all the Destroyer vs. Beast merchandise that they about to drop for WrestleMania, man. That's what they doing.
100%. Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. It's cool though him throwing that out there and making us think about this and trying to say who could it be? I mean, I'm looking right now even online just to see if anything new has popped up. CM Punk's name pops up. Yeah, I see
Christian
the thing Batista
did, but
shooting down.
He's already signed.
What's that?
Is it?
Yeah, Christian. Yeah, I know his name popped up.
Do you guys think you think it's even going? It could be. Did he say wrestler though? It could be.
But if he
a commentary person, it could be a manager.
Letdown.
You know what I mean?
Letdown. I mean, just when you.
He didn't technically say wrestler.
No, you're right. He didn't say that. But I just hope it's someone that you can say holy shit, wow, man, this they pulled this off. I feel like CM Punk is not gonna happen. But if it did though, that would be.
And he said he'll do it for the right money, right booking.
Yeah,
I remember him. This interviews out there.
There's no way.
That's crazy.
Just,
I don't know. Maybe they're gonna swerve us, man. Maybe they're gonna swerve us.
It's him. It's Paul White. He's gonna wrestle. It's just him actually getting in the ring. Well, what you think of his shirt too? No more BS.
Yes.
No more BS. See, the thing with Big Show, I'm still confused about this. I'll tell you this. Big Show is one of those guys, Undertaker, Kane, John Cena, he's a for lifer with WWE. So I'm still confused. I'm still got my guard up. I don't know if Big Show is a mole for WWE or something.
Hey, I think JR is a mole for WWE, man. Him calling Kenny Omega the WWE champion a couple weeks ago. I'm like, this dude's heart and soul is still in WWE, man. He's still commentating Raw in his mind.
And they be treating JR bad too, man. He be going back. They be using him and kicking him back out. I'm like, dang, why y'all treating Jim like that, man? Jim's still good, man. But yeah, I don't know. But I thought the shirt was dope. Paul White. It's I hate when people call him Paul White. I like Big Show better. Yeah. But I thought the show was tough. Maybe Big Show has some underlying, beef that we ain't know what was going on. You know what I mean?
Hey, the way they treated him towards the end, because of Randy Orton, that was total disrespect right there. You know what I'm saying? Like he got the man on his neck, and
as fan, like us watching it as I don't know. I feel like he's the kind of guy that would do whatever it took to help the company and put a guy over. You ask him to do what he's going to do. He feels like one of those guys. I feel like it's more a behind-the-scenes thing. Like maybe he wanted to do commentary. Maybe he wanted to be more involved in WWE. And Vince just shot him down or maybe didn't respond. And that's probably what said, you know what? If you're not going to do it and AEW's calling, Tony Khan saying, hey, man, you can do whatever you want. Hey, I got to go. That's it. So I feel like maybe I feel like that shirt was more about some kind of frustration that he had. Because, no more BS. No more Big Show, sure. But really, it's like, I think there's a story there. We'll get on a Jericho podcast here pretty soon, probably. So that's I'm going to be.
So you said he would do anything for WWE, like be a mole.
Yeah,
right.
Like,
I feel you, man. I feel you.
Kenny Omega.
He's over there discussing contract offers with the talent.
My man got notes right now, bro. My man,
straight from Vince.
Oh okay.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, Vince.
Oh, y'all doing this type of pay-per-view? Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, I got you. Using the OWCW name. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm telling you, man. I don't know. I don't trust you yet.
Oh man. Trying to recruiting talent. Getting people over there, getting Kenny Omega. Like Kenny Omega said, he would for this amount of money. He'd sign Vince. If we just paid him enough.
Oh man,
John Moxley will come back if you do this, and this. Okay. Yeah, man. No, I can see it. Oh man, are we excited for Revolution? Like, are we? Is this pay-per-view? Did the build do its job? Did the go home show do its job to get us excited about this show?
Not really. I think AEW, Dynamite was a good show. I'm excited to see Sting back in the ring, and if he can still, hold his own and still, deliver, because just for the fact, then it makes me look at things like, why couldn't we get that Sting Taker match, even though it wouldn't have been great, but. You could play around. They were doing all these cinematic matches and stuff, which I heard Sting wanted to do, which Vince didn't want to do. So, I want to see, where Sting is at as far as, on a physical level. I'm kind of upset because I feel like they should have did this Shaq and Cody match. That should have been on the pay-per-view as well. That match was beyond expectations, and, they killed it. And I was very impressed with, the way Shaq delivered in that match as well. And even Miss Cargill and Red Velvet, I don't want to take away from the ladies because they did an amazing job in that match as well. But, I don't know. The Sting, I want to see Sting. Besides that, the exploding barbed wire match, they got that.
Yeah.
I want to see how they're going to do that because I want to see if they're going to deliver on that match and the reaction of the deathmatch community to that match, because deathmatch is something that's very sacred to people in that community who are big fans. Right here in Jersey, down south Jersey and Philly, those guys are big on deathmatch, and they will critique it if it was done wrong. So if you're gonna do deathmatch, like, let's see deathmatch. You know what I mean? So those two things, I am excited. Is it something that I'm like, I don't know, maybe WWE spoiled us? Is it something like I'm gonna be like, yo, let me call up my cable provider and pay you $55 to watch this pay-per-view? No. You know? I'm not doing that.
Man.
But
Truth.
You know, I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm not gonna do that, but you know, I think it's gonna be some good quality stuff on there. So, you know, we'll see what comes from it.
Yeah, man. I think I fall in line with the same feeling. Like I'm excited, but not too excited. You know, like, you know, for a go home show, I thought I'll be left with more excitement, ready to see it. Like, oh man, I might shell up to $50, but I ain't even have that thought even crossed my mind. I'm like, nah, I got you know me. I see what's going on the other side, you know. How that goes. But that's just how I feel. I'm excited for the exploding barbed wire death match. And you know, to your point, how you said, you know, people who critique death matches, they're gonna critique the hell out of it. But you got one guy who's a superstar for it, is Jon Moxley. Like, he is no stranger to death matches. He comes from that world, came from CCW, so he knows all about that. So I think we're in good hands when it comes to, you know, telling the story through a death match. Is Jon Moxley. Like, story-wise, other than that, I'm trying to think about tag teams, Young Bucks, Chris Jericho, MJF. I don't know. I felt like we kind of detoured from what was going to happen for Inner Circle, you know, with Sammy Guevara. But since he left, and now we got Young Bucks infused into this story, I feel kind of just for it. You know, I'm pretty sure, you know, they're going to probably pull out a great match, but the build-up is like, that's how I feel.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, with the death match being the main event and the go-home show not really highlighting that enough with the main event here, because it was Hangman and Silver in that tag matchup, right, with Matt and Mark Quinn. So it was kind of a weird ending to the show to end it with that versus ending it with something, maybe some kind of face-to-face between Kenny and Jon Moxley to really get you like, oh man, I got to see this matchup. I mean, that's the match that I'm most anticipating, just because I've never seen a death match like that, like live. I've seen clips on, you know, YouTube and in general, but never really watched a death match. So I am interested in how they're gonna do this and what it all entails. It was cool that they showed the the video and you got to see you got a little taste of it with the barbed wire wrapped around the ropes and everything, and that was cool. But I just felt like they could have done better with the go home show from that aspect in terms of building up the pay-per-view. It was a good show. Dynamite was entertaining on its own, but as a go home show, I felt like it kind of left me feeling like, oh yeah, there is a pay-per-view. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like, oh shit, I gotta see this pay-per-view. It was more like it's just kind of there. Like, all right, I'll find a way to see it. You know, $50, but I'll find a way to see it. You know, that's just real. You know, man. That's
just what pandemic, it is. Man. Just can't shell up $50 just like that all willy nilly. You know what I'm saying?
We got the network or Peacock pretty soon, you know, at $9.99, you know, and all that content.
$5 if you can deal with the ads. $10 without them. It's like, and then you get more content too coming with the Peacock deal.
WWE's really
So you know the thing too with AEW is I think they have to stop booking their pay-per-views as if they're an independent show. I think they still book their shows as if they're an indie show. So, you know, you go to an indie show and there's not really a story why these two guys are fighting, but they're giving you two big names. So it's like, oh yeah, I do want to see these guys. I wish I would have had something leading up to this that made me want to get involved in it. But it's like, they're like, here you go. Like, here's Young Bucks. Here's MJF and Chris Jericho. Boom, here you go. Perfect tag team match, tag team titles. And then all of a sudden, all these matches, it's like people that are getting title shots. It's like, what the hell happened to the rankings? What's the point of these record things?
Man, them rankings all over the goddamn
There's people
place,
that's
bro.
like,
dude.
there's people that's in second, third, and you giving shots to people down in the fifth spot. It's like, I don't get it. It's like, I don't know what's going. Like, what's the point? What's the point? It's like we at AFC, we going to the final, bro. Like, no.
In what world? In what world?
I don't get it. So they're booking like an indie show, and that's one of the things they gotta get over that. Stop just giving us names. Like, it's cool, we know they're gonna give good matches, but it's like we tune into it to see, the story too. Like, build us up to it, make us want to watch it.
I think that's the huge opportunity that they can grow is tell stories, like use promo vids. Like, I know they had a promo vid talking about Revolution, but that was towards the end of Dynamite. Then they tell you all the stories for every match, but I'm getting sleepy around that time, bro. I gotta go work. You know what I'm saying? You know how that is, so I don't have time to catch it. Like, why not just infuse that during your Dynamite show when you got people coming to watch Dynamite? So I think they have a huge opportunity just to tell the stories in between. Like Sheeta, like, she's your AEW Women's Champion. Give me a promo about what she feels about this current AEW tournament, or how she feels about the belt, what the belt means to her, because literally I don't know what that belt means to her right now, bro, because I have seen less of her. You know what I'm saying? I know she's been on BR or YouTube, but you know what I'm saying, I'm not watching YouTube, for wrestling like that. I'm watching like your show, podcast, catching on my podcast like that, but not just watching more content. I'm watching my content when I can, like during Dynamite or during WWE weekly shows, man.
Oh, facts. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, guys, man, this has been a lot of fun. We're closing in on almost 2 hours of chatting it up with you and talking, Derrick. This has definitely been a pleasure. I feel like there's so much more that we could dig into and dive into overall with you. But I feel like overall at this point of the show, I like to let people just kind of just shout out whatever you want to shout out. Let people know where they can catch you. Let them know about the podcast and all that, man. So the floor is yours. Take it away.
Yeah, definitely. So you can check me out at RapNWrestle. That's RAPN Wrestle. Just bringing the worlds of hip hop and wrestling together. Two of my loves. As we can see, that's going on in WWE heavy nowadays. They got a lot of influx of these hip hop artists trying to get into wrestling, but there's just a big history between rap artists using wrestling lyrics in their songs, and then there's a factuation of wrestlers with hip hop music and hip hop artists as well. So I just connect those dots. I like to showcase hip hop talent that I think is amazing and wrestling talent that I think is amazing as well. So a lot of great interviews, a lot of great episodes as well. You can check that out. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you listen to your podcast, you can check that out as well. You can also check me out on at Wrestling IQ 101. That's my, my baby that I first started with. It's just, strictly wrestling over there. So, if you like interviews with anybody in the wrestling business, we've talked to, a number of names. We're almost 200 episodes deep on that. So you can check that out. Check out all the great interviews that we've done with that. Same place as well. Instagram, Facebook, Apple, Spotify. And definitely, if you can, check out DCS program. See all the great things that we're doing with the kids that we talked about. A lot of great events coming up. All my wrestling family too. I'm big about connecting all my worlds into one. So I'll definitely be reaching out to, all my wrestling people as well too, to, make things happen with that as well. And definitely just to, check out everything. And that's it.
Yeah, man.
You know what?
Definitely.
I forgot to ask you something, man.
Yeah.
What's some of your favorite artists? Because you got that RapNWrestle podcast. What's some of your favorite artists growing up?
Yeah, growing up, I was big on probably my favorite artist. I would probably say probably like Tupac, man. Tupac was one of my big favorites. Tupac was, when I first started listening to hip hop, that was the first hip hop artists that I've ever like listened to that like I actually understood music. Like somebody dubbed a cassette for me of Tupac's album, and that was the first thing I listened to. And you know this is old because I'm talking about dubbing cassettes.
I remember that.
You know what I mean? So yeah, so I was listening on a freaking radio, putting the cassette in there, listening to Tupac. So that was like the first major artist. But you know, of course, I listened to Jay-Z, DMX at that time, Busta Rhymes at that time as well. Bad Boy was heavy at that time. Biggie Smalls, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube. So I had a good mix. And as I got older, Outkast. I like Andre and Big Boy. Up to today's generation, I love Eminem. I think he's one of the best lyricists of all time. I love Childish Gambino. I know everybody knows him as Donald Glover, and the things he does with movies and acting and stuff like that. But he's a very great artist if you actually listen to him. And I like the newer guys. I like the little everybody's. You know what I mean? I give everything a listen. I know people always hate the little Uzis, the little Yachties.
I like Lil Baby, man. He got some good wordplay. He got a good flow, man. Right. Out of the new generation, I can rock with him, bro. Shout out to him. Yeah,
I like him. I mess with him. I like Da Baby as well. I like him. I love Drake. Drake, I think, is an amazing artist. He literally gives you everything for any mood you could have for any situation. If you got problems with your girl, he got a song for that. If you love her, he got a song for that. If you got a whole bunch of side chicks, he got a song for that. If you want to get gangster, he got songs for that too. Man. It's a whole bunch of stuff he got going on. So my music is all over the place, man. And I give a chance to the young guys, because hip hop evolves. When we were young, people we literally turn into our parents, because now we're telling people, oh, nah, we had the real hip hop
back in my day.
When we was younger, they used to say that to us, like, hey, y'all listening to some bullshit, this is the real music. Now we tell the kids that. So I give it a chance, and
Same.
I like
but
a lot of it.
I can actually understand that argument, because I want to say in 90s, early 2000s, hip-hop was more spread out. It was more diverse, like different dialects, like Southern dialect. Like, I love Southern hip-hop. Ask me some of my favorite groups, 3 6 Mafia, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, Outkast and some of those groups. And then even Chicago, our local talent, Twista, Speeding Out Mobsters, Crucial Conflict, Do or Die. You know what I'm saying? Or New York, you got Wu-Tang Clan, and then you got Little Kim. It was just diverse. Now it's like, all right, everybody's in this somewhat in the same category, and you just got to pick from there. So I can see people's argument about that.
I get it. See, you got to listen though.
Yeah,
that's the thing. They not all saying the same thing though. I think people. I don't know what it is. It's like it's kind of like a generalization. I guess it's kind of like the sound people hear, and then like how they say, oh, it's just mumble rap, and you know what I mean. But I'm telling you, like a lot of these guys, man, it's like they really, I don't know. For me, it's like they don't sound the same. I could distinguish, like, you know what I mean. Little Uzi, I know the way he sounds. I know the way Lil Yachty sounds. I know the way Lil Baby sounds. I know the way Rich the Kid sounds.
Travis
you know
Scott.
what I mean? It's like it's Travis Scott. Yeah, it's like it's a whole variety, and it's kind of like, I think it's kind of it is kind of like a reflection of how it was before, because at that time everybody was rapping about the same thing. It was just a different dialect they was saying it, and they was describing. They call the things they do different from the way we talk about it here. Like, they call their guns whatever they call it down there. We call our guns whatever we call it over here. You know what I mean? They call their money something different than we call over here. So I think it's kind of like that same thing. And I think it, you know what I mean? I do it sometimes too. It's just we get caught up in, it's like, oh man, all this shit sounds the same. And it's like, if you give them a chance, it's like, there's a lot of great talent and a lot of good artists out there. Just listen to their words, man. These younger kids, it's like I don't even know. They're rapping as like depressed kids. They got a lot of issues going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff going on with them, man. It's a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I like it. You know, I mess with it.
Yeah, I love all music, man. And I love just listening to a lot of the new guys out there. You know, when you mentioned the Baby, and I threw out Travis Scott out there. You know, I feel like with every generation, it's a little bit different. And for this generation, they have their style, and I think it's cool. And I feel like I just want to appreciate just what they're doing and let them do their thing. Because I do sometimes, I mean, we're all human. Like, you hold on to the ones that you love, and it's like, man, like, this was like, I feel like, you know, that old man sometimes, like, man, you know, that we had some guys, man, Tupac, Biggie, you know, and it's like, I don't hear anyone like that, but it's like, it's just different, you know. So I want to give them that shot. And yeah, some of the guys now, I mean, I miss Kendrick, you know. I feel like Kendrick hasn't put anything out for a while, you know, and you know, that man, he's super talented. But yeah, man, I mean, for me growing up, you know, it was Snoop was like number one. Like, that was my first, you know, intro into hip hop. And then Fugees was one of the first CDs that I just listened to, like, beginning to end, like, just and on repeat. Like, I remember I think the one whole summer, it was just Fugees every day. I'd be playing my video games and I have Fugees going on in the background. Like, I just was obsessed. So loved them. As I got a little bit older, Eminem, you mentioned him, like I was going to if you didn't, man. Like, Eminem for me, I don't know. That dude, man, he just lyrically, it's hard for me to say, you know, that this guy isn't like my favorite, you know, honestly, just to hear like the way he goes out. I'm like, he blows my mind just listening to him, man. So, you know, I think that he's really talented. Yeah, there's just a lot of people, you know, out there that I'm just like, they do their thing, and I appreciate it. There was another one I was going to bring up too, but there's a lot of guys out there. Future, you know, does his thing still. Yep. You know, it's a lot of talented people out there. So
I got one more question for you guys. Since because you brought up the Fugees, and it got me thinking of Lauryn Hill as well. So I heard someone posted this the other day, and it made me think. I was like, damn, they might be right. Do you think is Lauryn Hill a legendary artist, or did Lauryn Hill just give us a legendary album and she's not really a legend?
Oh man,
think about that. Because besides the miseducation of Lauryn Hill, what do you really think of Lauryn Hill as? You know what I mean? And that was a great album, but was it just that, hey, that's a great album, or was it like she's really like one of the greatest artists of all time?
I think, okay, so the way I have never thought of it in those terms before, and I've always just considered her just all around, in my mind, legendary, because she just her sound was so, at least for that time, was just so like unique and just touched me in a certain way. And going from being in that group, the Fugees, to then doing that album that was just like everything, I feel like it was enough for me to just right off the bat say, like, oh my God, she's the next big thing. But then, like you said, I mean, she really hadn't done anything else after. You know, I mean, I've seen some like live performances she did, and you know, it's I don't know, it's tough. It's tough. I feel like the one image that popped in my head right off the bat is when you said that was, if I were to have Lauryn Hill like show up, you know, at a place that I was at, right? Just she walked into the room, or I was at a store and she walked in. I feel like I would lose my mind. And I feel like right away, like that would just, she's on that status for me where she just has an aura about her, even with that one album, you know, like she, and I think that is kind of legendary to even have this conversation about someone who just made one album like that. And we all kind of, even in the question, is she a legend or was it a legendary album? The fact that we're even having that conversation, I feel like almost answers the question. Like, because who else has done that? You know, just one album, boom, we're all like, wait a minute, is she really that, or was it just that one album? But, you know, for me, I've never even asked that question before to myself to say like, ooh, what is she really a legend? So I think to this whole thing, for me, it's like, man, just the fact that she's in that conversation based off of what she did, and just, I mean, she's just so talented. I would say she is. I would say she is. That she, with just the minimal gift that she gave us, she did it. And that's amazing to me that she's even in that conversation.
I think it answers the question when she did what she did with Fugees, and then she broke off and did her own thing, and she still was like, if not even better, because she got to just be that solo star, and I felt her voice at that time was unique, was different. It had a lot of pain in it, but yet it could be uplifting at the same time. Like, it almost had like a little Mary J. Blige to it, but it was still her though. It was still just different, and that's why I gotta say, like, yeah, she's a legend. Like, I was just, when y'all was just breaking it down, I'm going through all the songs in my head, you know, just I'm going like this, you know, hearing the tunes, and just her, like, she had a beautiful voice. And then I seen some of the YouTube videos seeing her live. Like, if you can sing live, that's telling me you're a true vocal artist. You're and to me, she's that good, and she's a legend, bro.
Yeah, I give it to you. I give it to you. I don't know. I still haven't made a decision. It's a good debate, man. If you could bring that up with anybody and have a debate on that, nobody thinks of it that way. But when I read that, I was like, dang, have I been
right.
You know?
Dude,
I have a soft,
to
me, I have a soft spot for live vocal singers. Like, some of my favorite, like Jill Scott. My wife knows how I feel about her. If we was ever to go to a Jill Scott concert, she already knows. She getting tickets. Where we going? That is, you know, that's my girl right there. I love how she gets down on the vocals. Yeah. She has so much range, so much control over her voice. It's asinine to me, but she's just a beautiful talent. And to me, I could put that as, in my world, that's a legendary singer right there, because how she can just control the room with her singing, and I get the same feeling from Lauryn Hill.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this, and this is not being biased in any way, but during that time period when she dropped Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, I don't think I've ever bought a woman's album ever in my life, and that was the first woman's CD that I ever bought ever. That was that was literally the only, when CDs were still a thing.
Yeah.
That was literally the only CD I ever had was hers, that from a woman artist. I listened to woman songs, I listened to Lil Kim and all that, and then nowadays, of course, you know, it's so easy. I listen to all the women now, but at that time, she was like that first one for me. Her and probably like Eve, those two were like the first ones for me that kind of like put me on. And it was like, yo, yeah, like, women are like here, man, and they're like they top notch. You know,
well, I think to her too, it was just such a, like, all cultures too were into Lauryn Hill. Like, she was a crossover sensation, you know. I mean, definitely us in the black community, we already had loved her and knew like what she was about. But I think that, you know, with that album, you got people, you know, all, you know, white people, you know, like people across all over the world, you know, like, man, Lauryn Hill, I need to have that album. Like, oh my God, who is she? She's amazing. Like, it was the way that she was able to just grab and touch people and all over the place. I feel like, yeah, man, one album or 10 albums, like, the fact that she had that effect, and like you said, like, just being able to say, hey, you know, like, as a female artist, I want this album. It was for her to do that to you, even you sharing that story. I'm like, yeah, man, I feel like stuff like that's legendary status to me, man. That is. But you did have me question for a second. I'm like, man, let me really try to think about this. I'm gonna have to go back. What is it? Not Lauren. No, on, Lord. Like I can't disrespect Lord, but it's not even disrespect, but it's just like she's a legend. She's a legend.
Yeah, that voice, like just seeing her live, just hearing her live. Like I love live singers. Like to me, one of the best to me is Whitney Houston as well. Like, I got stories from my mom. Like I used to be in my crib 2 years old and I'm dancing to Whitney Houston. I'm like, for real? She's like, yeah, you just love Whitney Houston for some reason. Yeah. So I guess it even makes sense why I gravitate towards these live singers who got the vocals, man.
Yeah.
See, you guys are gonna keep me talking all night. I'm trying to stop.
No, bro, this is good. This is all good, man.
I'll tell you with Whitney Houston, right? So, you guys remember the movie The Bodyguard,
Kevin
right?
Costner,
that she was in. So, I don't know. I remember there was part of it. I haven't watched it in so long, but there was part of it where like the bodyguard saved Whitney's life or something like that, right? That's like the
cover. I think he's holding her like yeah. So that's part of the movie.
Yeah. So I'll tell you this. So that was like legitimately based off like a true thing that happened with Whitney Houston. So when I was like in 4th grade, we had a teacher's assistant that was helped out with our class. And he always told us, I'm going to assume it's true because I don't know why he would lie to a whole bunch of 4th graders. But he said that was slightly based off of him because when Whitney, he was doing work for Whitney when she was younger. And it was one time she had choked on like a lollipop or something. And she couldn't breathe and he saved her life. And so I was his name is Mr. Gavin. I always remember him because he always told that story. And he was like, yeah, that he saved Whitney Houston's life. That's like his shining moment. So that just made me think of that when you said Whitney Houston as well. And she's from Jersey too, so I gotta rock out with my girl.
Yeah, man. Wow. Well,
great story right there.
Yeah. Dude, this has been fun. We gotta do this again, and just definitely just talk more. I think the next time that we have this conversation, I'm gonna lead off with music, and we're gonna get up and talk about a little bit more about music in the beginning because this topic could really
this is a rabbit hole right here. Hell
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like we could just keep going. Man, I'll just say this: that what the group I was trying to remember that I wanted to bring up too was Bone Thugs and Harmony. That was another one that back in the day also that they got me like that. I had a CD, but I think I also had a cassette that I recorded stuff off the radio. Yeah, like anytime their songs, I record it, and then play it back, and they were so fast with their lyrics too. And I remember trying to remember, and I would try to write down like their lyrics. Okay, they said this. Okay, then go along and try to learn the songs that way. Dude, man, like that group, them, Twister, all them. It's just they had me too at that time as well. But
kids got it easy.
Oh, they do, man.
The lyric, so while you listening to it
on the phone,
here's the lyrics, man.
Like,
really? No, they had to do back in the day. I had to get on the radio. I had to Busy Bone. Forget about it. I was like, nah, fuck that. I can't even write Busy Bone. I'm gonna skip his shit. You know what I'm saying? Leave him
Yep.
I tried because sometimes, in school, everybody they knew the song. Like some people knew the songs really well, and Bone was one of the ones that was. It was like if you could do a Bone song, it was like, man, like you're good. So I used to be a little bit jealous, like, I got to get this. So that's why I went the next level. So I was like, all right, I need to really let me break this down so I can at least get one of them, and then I can sing along with part of the song. But yeah, man, fun times. It's just. The memories that this is bringing up to, man, music is just special like that, where it just takes us down this rabbit hole and memory lane and all that. So, like I said, next time we all get on here, definitely, we gonna spend a good portion of time talking about music, man. It's a lot of fun. But
facts, can't wait.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna cap it there. Derrick, thank you so much. Coach Derrick, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, appreciate it.
And then Devin, before we go, as always, you know what to do to tell the people where they can catch us.
Yes, all the time. I will go down the list. It's a lot of social various network platforms you can catch us. We got Instagram, we got Twitter, we got TikTok.
TikTok.
Yes. And we got Facebook, and I can't forget about awesome Facebook group, Clark Street Wrestling Community. We're heading towards that ultimate goal of 200 by WrestleMania. I believe we had 129 or 130. It's around one of those two numbers. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving an estimate, but it's one of those two numbers. We're almost at that goal. So thank you for people who's following us, who's searching for us on Facebook. Go ahead and hitting that invite and let you guys in. Go ahead and being engaging and kicking off all sorts of debates. So we enjoy it. So thank you. And I cannot forget about our special website. You can find all those social platforms. And I cannot forget about YouTube as well, that all of our episodes are connected. And I got to say, we are rising pretty good. We're at 115 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you. We appreciate it. Following us, like I said, making that transition from audio. You know, we had to upgrade from the audio game to the visual. Now you see these beautiful black men like us, you know what I'm saying, get to engage with us, see the visuals now, get to match the voices to the faces. So it's all good. So thank you for making that transition. And I cannot forget about the merch. We got shirts like this tank top right here. We got neck gaiters, masks, and I can't forget my special notebook, my handy dandy notebook. You know, just like Blue's Clues. Gonna be a hand model. Go ahead. Gonna kick off notes like me, get down, whatever you like to jot down over there on our notebook, and you find out all of our special merch site. It's on our store, clarkstreetwrestling.com/store for your pleasure.
Yes. And with that said, that is going to do it for this episode. So for Coach Derrick Gamble, Devin, I'm Hafiz. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to the Clark Street Wrestling Podcast.